Valley View can easily be funded for the full year with no additional county taxation. I'm going to say it again because I think it's so critical. Facts are still facts, no matter how you try to spin them in that budget presentation. Valley View can be funded for the full year with no additional county taxation to the residents. And I'm going to show you exactly how that can be done. First, I wanted to just talk about a budget. What is a budget? We got presented a budget by the executive. And the definition from the American Heritage Dictionary is, it's an itemized summary of estimated or intended expenditures for a given period along with proposals for financing them. And the key words that you see there are estimated and intended. I'm going to tell you, the executive says to fund Valley View would cost $20 million. He has no intent of wanting to fund Valley View. And the estimate should be a truthful, best guess estimate when you do budgeting. Again, the executive is telling us $20 million to budget and that our taxes will go through the roof. Well, he is not giving you a best guess estimate because he refuses to take out $6.5 million of waste and mismanagement that we found in our committee, and he refuses to add in the $6 million of IGT funding that we prove is coming as long as we own this facility. And that would get us down to $7.5 million. But he refuses to do a best guess estimate and work any of this into the equation. He sticks with his $20 million. Now, Roxanne mentioned, in this budget that he showed us, he's got taxpayer money, $5 million worth for public defender. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything good or bad about any of these particular programs. I just want us to understand, $5 million of county taxation is going to the public defender, $6 million for community college tuition, $18 million for community college itself, $6 million for the buildings that we have, $22 million for debt service, $37 million of county taxation for the county jail, $86 million for the Department of Social Services welfare programs, and $17 million to administer those programs. The most critical line here, I think, is he also has in the budget $5.5 million that we will have to pay every year not to own the nursing home. In other words, for the privilege of not having this as a county home, we will pay, and it is in that budget, $5.5 million every year for decades to come. That's in the budget. So, if we can actually get this at $7.5 million, my question to the executive is, isn't it worth the additional $2 million to have the nursing home in our possession as opposed to not having it in our possession? Now, someone may wonder how we got those $6.5 million of waste and $6 million of IGT. Here it is broken down. Again, the executive says $20 million to run Valley View. That's his estimate. But he won't take out the $1.5 million of overtime above and beyond what normal overtime would be because of the mismanagement. I'm going to tell you, I've got two books with me today I think that are critical. Got the budget. I've got the Bible.
Yes.
One of them, any one of them, the executive or the budget director or the finance director or the Valley View administrator or the Valley View budget director or the Valley View Assistant Budget Director, or the DSS Commissioner, any one of them, let them come under oath and tell us that what we know for a fact, that there's 1.5 more overtime. We're running at $2.5 million versus the $900,000 or $1 million that was budgeted last year. How can you tell us there isn't that mismanagement and rampant overtime? How can you come under oath, swear on this book, and tell us that the place isn't underutilized because of what they're doing here, selling it? Our rates are down into the 80s instead of the historic 95%. And tell us it doesn't cost $2.4 million. Because when you do the math, that's exactly what it costs. Come and swear on this book. Tell us that that OAS contract isn't bloated and that you can't get another administrator in here a lot less than the $775,000 being paid. You can't save over $500,000. Come, put your hand on this book and tell us that you're not mismanaging the billing of other insurance companies and managed care companies to the tune of at least $350,000 like we found out under testimony. Come, put your hand on this book, put your hand up in the air, tell us you're not underutilizing, underachieving on the case mix index, and that you can't get at least a minimal $1.7 million. That's only a 6% increase on the case mix index. We were told average we'd get $3.5 million. One buyer told us at least $4 million. Another administrator told us $6.3 million. You tell me you can't get a minuscule increase and get $1.7 million. And then you tell me, finally, come put your hand on this book and tell me that IGT funding is no longer available. It's over. It's not coming anymore. Because we have all the documents from Albany and Washington that show otherwise. And we know as long as we own this facility, it might be a day from now, might be a week from now, it might be 3 months from now, the money will come. And I'll tell you, they'll argue half of it is not ours. It's not government funds, it's our money going in. Except that they've already budgeted $2.1 million of IGT in the 11 budget and $3.2 million of IGT in the 12 budget that they haven't used. They've taxed the taxpayers. They've got their money. It's supposedly sitting there to be used. So once